Secretary of State Mike Pompeo visits the state capitol, addressing lawmakers in an appearance that Democrats are calling a campaign speech, violating the norm of mixing politics with foreign policy. But the secretary tells News 3 Now in an exclusive one-on-one interview he's addressing attempts by the Chinese Communist government to influence state politics. Secretary Pompeo warned lawmakers to push back against Chinese Communist Party influence and blamed China for its role in the pandemic.
It reminds us that authoritarian regimes are prone to cover-ups. That's how this virus began its travel all across the world, with a Chinese Communist Party that disappeared doctors and wouldn't let journalists talk about what was really going on at the most critical time and juncture in the expansion of the virus. The Chinese covered up for this virus. We expect that they will be held accountable for that.
Democrats contend the administration wasn't ready for what followed, and 200,000 Americans have died since. We talked about a number of issues with Secretary Pompeo, including China, election security involving Russia, as well as Israel, as well as his future and much more. You can watch the full interview Sunday on For the Record, 10:30 a.m. on News 3 Now.
Senate Republicans are seeing this trip as an advantage for Wisconsin farmers and businesses, but Democrats disagree.
Amy Reed live at the Capitol with their reaction. Amy?
The Senate president said this is the first time a Secretary of State has addressed the state legislature. Republicans were able to ask questions, while Democrats avoided the appearance, instead criticizing it as a campaign stop.
It's given us an eye-opening experience to recognize that we're not immune to this kind of influence here in Wisconsin, and there's work that we can do.
Senate President Roger Roth said the visit from the Secretary of State gave the legislature a lot to consider next session when it comes to influence from China.
Well, he raised some interesting things that we can look at, particularly when it comes to the investments that we have in the Wisconsin retirement system. Some of the companies that were invested in are Chinese-owned state-run media.
The visit was critical of China, a key trade partner for Wisconsin farmers. Pompeo said the current talks will lead to short-term hits, which Roth believes will be worth it.
We can't go on like this. There's going to be a short-term hit, and they feel that, but their hope is that we can get it right. They know if we can get it right, Wisconsin can compete with anyone in the world, and we'll beat them at their game, and that's really what our hope is.
Democrats, meanwhile, are not only critical of how trade is going, but Pompeo's decision to visit in the first place
is a distracting, attention-sucking, wasteful demonstration of desperation.
Bewley said the Wisconsin people don't want this. They want action on coronavirus and other problems the state is facing.
They need stability. They need reassurance. And what do they get? They get Mike Pompeo coming to address the Wisconsin Senate about trade policy with China.
The Senate president is hopeful about what this trip will do for Wisconsin's future. He said this allowed legislators to get in Pompeo's ear, so he'll be thinking about Wisconsin when he's making deals.
Amy Reed live at the Capitol. Amy, thank you.